Hello everyone, we are fourth year undergraduates at SLET, and today we are here to talk about vulnerabilities. As an assignment, we observed our past year's project and we were able to identify some vulnerabilities in that project. So let's talk about those vulnerabilities today. So the vulnerabilities I was able to identify are cross-site scripting, which is also known as XSS, weak password policy vulnerability, or I can say inadequate authentication, and improper type validation and input validation. Let's see what are the definitions. Cross-site scripting is a kind of a security vulnerability. Simply, the attacker injects a malicious script to the web pages. So those people can take the sensitive information of the user, such as the login credentials, the personal information as such. The weak password policy is something we can simply say that the password is not strong enough. So in the web pages, you can see they ask for you to enter a stronger password where there are multiple numbers, special characters, and the password should be long enough such. So in improper type validation refers to situation where the data types of incoming parameters are not appropriately checked. Likewise, those are the definitions of these vulnerabilities. So the identification was done using black box and white box testing. So for that, I used several tools, Sing.io and the commands npm audit using Node.js commands, and also line by line, I was going through the code, and also manually I was doing that, and everything was used to find these vulnerabilities. So the input validations were also checked using going through the code line by line. And the weak password vulnerability was identified by observing the code and the web interfaces. So likewise, these vulnerabilities were identified as I have mentioned in this slide. And if I go to the next slide, you can see the solution and the prevention. Cross-site scripting, the solution is input sanitization and validation. Weak password policy, stronger and secure passwords can be used. Improper type validation, thorough type validation checks for properties can be used. And the fixes done. For my code, I have done these fixes without just the value name. I have used these fixes to fix the code and the vulnerabilities, as you can see in these slides. And those are the three vulnerabilities I have identified and the definitions and the fixes I have done. I have included only a few amount of the fixes I have done to my project here. So knowing the vulnerabilities and the fixes may help you a lot. So let's see what other members have got in their fixes as well. So knowing the vulnerabilities and the fixes may help you a lot in the future. So always try to know and prevent them in the future projects.
Let me take you to the vulnerabilities that identified from the OWASP SAP tool. OWASP SAP tool is one of the tools that help us to identify the vulnerabilities inside of a system. Using the OWASP, I have identified several vulnerabilities and 5 of them listed here. Content security policy, header not set. CSP is one of the vulnerability which limits the sources that is loaded inside of the web page. By using meta tag, we can limit these type of sources, and it is designed to reduce the risk of the cross-site scripting attacks. CSP header not set vulnerability is performing when the HTTP response from the web application, which is not connected any type of CSP headers. The meta tag is example below is one of the meta tag that we can use to store the sources. CSP wildcard directive. The sources that are inside of the meta tag sometimes can be dangerous and unreliable sites. So we can use CSP evaluator to evaluate these sources and then identify whether they are reliable or unreliable and then use it inside of the meta tag to prevent this vulnerability. Missing anti-click checking header. The web application which have failed to include the proper security headers In the HTTP response, we'll be having these type of click checking assaults. Using extreme option header and set the header into Denny or same origin, we can prevent these type of vulnerabilities. Surveillance informations via X powered by HTTP response header field. X powered by headers are providing the details of the software and also the technology stack of the system to the attackers. By disabling this X powered by headers, we can prevent this vulnerability. X content type option header missing. The X content type option header is a non-sniffing. The changes can be done in the backend server. By making it non-sniffing, we can prevent the mind sniffing attacks by instructed of the web application and perform mind sniffing instead of relying on the declaring the content type.
I will discuss about two vulnerabilities. One is cross-domain misconfiguration, another one is absence of anti-CSRF token. So what is these vulnerabilities? Cross-domain misconfiguration is a vulnerability that can occur when a website doesn't set up a security vulnerabilities properly. So this allowing other website to access its data and functions without permission. Cross-site request forgery attack. It's a type of online attack faced in our software application that uses browser into making unauthorized requests to another website where the user is in login. So absence of an anti-CSRF token make it easier to attack the website. So how we can identify these vulnerabilities? We can identify cross-domain misconfiguration vulnerability by security assessment in Open Web Application Security Project, that means OWASP tools. So you can see I have discovered 215 issues. So by code reviewing both server side and client side, we can identify the absence of anti-CSRF token. How we going to fix them? So we can add middleware configuration to our server side in our application to fix cross-domain misconfiguration. So this middleware manage cross-origin request. So to prevent CSRF attacks, we can generate and implement anti-CSRF tokens to our applications. So to do that, we can use CSURF library.